You know, the funny thing is, and you probably know the stats better than I do, everybody knows about life insurance, but yet nobody actually goes out and gets it.
People don't buy insurance because, one, they don't understand it.
Mhm.
Our culture doesn't understand it because we are not getting money left behind us. The thing about life insurance, it allows you to have an immediate net worth increase.
Dang.
Because if I have no money, if I make $25,000 a year, I still may be able to afford a $50 premium.
Mhm.
And therefore may be able to leave my family behind. If I had a term, I could possibly leave my family behind $1 million for $30 if I was 30 years old. So if something happened to me unexpectedly, which happens a lot in our community, they would have left $1 million behind for $30. They didn't have $1 million.
You know, God forbid, but it's the fact of the matter. Someone can pass away and an entire family can go from zero to hero like overnight.
Tax-free.
Overnight.
The money is tax-free.
Like, dang, so
Uncle Sam ain't coming for you for half of it. It's better than when you pass away, we need a GoFundMe. You guys are getting kicked out the house. Your kids are no longer in private school. You know, it's a huge change when somebody in our community passes away unexpectedly. So we need to plan for that.
When I was in college for like a hot second, I remember a guy said this. He said life insurance are making billions of dollars a year of people lapse on their policy. And I never thought about it like that. I mean, shoot, I was 18. I wasn't thinking about it at all. But when he said it, he was like, think about all the people that had paid their policy year after year after year, and then they stopped.
And they stopped.
And then all that money just kept.
And the insurance company never has to pay out your family. I feel like these type of careers that we choose or businesses we have make the most money. Like, and it's the job that nobody talks about, right? It's not, you don't go to school and they tell you should be a real estate investor. You don't go to school and they tell you you should sell life insurance. These are things that you usually do because you have a family member in it. Or, you know, it's like a generational thing that comes, or you kind of fall into it because maybe you lost your job and you're like, let me just fall into, you know, real estate or fall into insurance. But the craziest thing is, this is where the millionaires are at.
Yeah. What exactly is a life insurance? We understand what life insurance is, but what exactly is a life insurance agent and how do they get paid? Because I'm not going to lie, until you told me this the other day, you blew my mind. I never knew. I'm like, why do they be hawking me about getting life insurance?
I don't even understand how anybody's in this business and makes less than $100K. And it sounds crazy, right? Because the average income is under $100K, right? Most people are making, what, 50 and under, right? Isn't that the mid-level?
55, 60, something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is life insurance. So life insurance, basically the way we get paid is commission. That's the difference. You know, they say like, you lucky to make money. No, you was willing to do the work.
Exactly.
That's it. You wasn't lucky. You was willing to do the work. I did what you wasn't willing to do.
You gotta talk to him.
That's it. Right?
Welcome back to the Funded and Closed podcast. This is a podcast I put together to help individuals like you learn, grow, make more money, just overall get to the next level, whether it's real estate, whether it's business, whether it's insurance, whether it's funding, whatever you need to get to that next level. This podcast, this platform that I put together is going to help you. Now, I put together this entire podcast specifically because when I first started on real estate, I didn't have a whole bunch of people that was doing all these different things. So I watched podcasts, I tapped into class, I did a lot of different things so I can self-teach me. So now I want you guys to be able to have a platform like what I did so you guys can learn. But the one thing is, when I was watching a lot of those podcasts, people already started out with $10 million. They was already engineers at jobs. Their husband was a doctor. Their wife was this. They already had a multi-million-dollar retirement account. And what happens is sometimes people watch those type of things and they feel like, let me turn this off. This is not for me. So I wanted to bring on individuals that I know started from the mud, really put things together. And even they didn't start from the mud. They started a business from ground zero, which is amazing to me. So I want to bring on 6, 7, 8, 9-figure entrepreneurs. So these are, and the funny thing about this is these are conversations that we have all the time anyway. So I'm thankful for them because they allowing me to record our regular everyday conversations so you guys can hear them and catch the little nuggets and the gems in between. So you guys know every single person I bring on this podcast is just handpicked. Nobody, I get DMs, I get emails, I get pulled to the side all the time. Can I get on your pod? Can I get on your pod? I only bring on people that I actually am friends with, I actually done business with, and I actually know for a fact that they the real deal, because I want to make sure the people that y'all hear are not just people we just pull from anywhere. So today, I'm excited. I'm always excited about the episodes, but I'm super excited today because this is someone that we have been connected for a while now. She has came on and helped me out. I have come and helped her out on things. She gave me a lot of game. I gave her a lot of game. And these are just real live conversations that we have on a regular. And the other thing about this is we never had nobody on here that talked about what you about to talk about. No. And I think this is, like, we talk about real estate, we talk about funding, we talk about money. But I'm going to be honest with you, this is probably top 3, if not top 2, of the things that you guys need. No matter if you want to be a $100 million entrepreneur, this is something that you need regardless. If you really, really want to set up wealth, not just for today, but for your long-term future and your kids, this is 100% what you're going to need. So today, I want to introduce my good friend, an expert in this field, Ms. Lindsay Smith. What's up?
What's up, bro? What you said is so true. This is what everybody needs. It's not really just about you being in a particular type of business. Everybody needs this if they're really trying to build a legacy and leverage this money.
And if you ain't guessed it yet, what we talking about is life insurance. Life insurance, not just for your life when something goes wrong, when you pass away, but especially when you want to leverage and move around for today. So I'm not gonna get too much into it. I'm gonna let you talk. So this is not your first time in Philly, right?
Definitely not. I got a property in Philly.
See, we got real time investment.
I got a property out here in Philly. If I could know exactly where it's at, but I got one out here.
So somebody just told you to buy something in Philly. You don't know where it's at.
I got the address.
We're gonna figure out what area it is.
I don't know how to get there. Property manager, you know how to go.
That's what I'm talking about. So before we go get knee deep into it, so you've been in life insurance for how long?
15 years.
15 years. So 15 years ago, what made you want to get into life insurance?
It's crazy. So a lot of people don't know this about me. So I used to be in the entertainment and fashion business. Okay. And so
I can see.
Yeah, so you can tell.
I can see.
So I used to do something called product placement. This is where you get clothes on celebrities. Oh, okay. For the purpose of either they're at an award show, whatever, right? So at this time, I had a styling agency.
Oh, okay.
So the recession happens right around like what we're doing right now. The money was getting funny for people. So the label tells us, well, we're not paying agency fees no more. The clothing lines tell me, Lindsay, we can't afford marketing anymore. We just need sales. Things is going down. So I said, I need to get into something that's recession proof, that allows me to be able to be an entrepreneur and have no cap on my income, because I've always made money. I never had a 9-to-5. So I always made income based off of what I do. Right. And I needed something that was going to fulfill my purpose. Right. I went to school. I went to Howard. I got a degree in business. Right. So I said I wanted to get involved in finance. So I get an email. Remember back in the day, you could put your resume up and they would call you. I don't know, those websites that like you put your resume up and they call you. They might still have that.
When I worked a job, it was like I worked at McDonald's in a retirement home. I never did a big job before. So
okay.
I don't even think I have a resume.
They had literally they had these websites you could put your resume on, something like that. Okay. And so this financial company reached out and they're like, benefits, no cap on your income, bonuses, free trips. We're gonna teach you about finance. I'm like, hold up, this is right up my alley, right? So they hit me. I go to the interview. They speak in all my language, right? Completely. The fact you got millionaires, all this stuff. I'm like, this is me, right? So now I'm still in the street a little bit. So I'm like, I don't want to leave. I'm bartending now because this other stuff, the money's not as good as it used to. When you said in the street,
I said...
No. Not that kind of street. But I mean, like, I'm still outside hustling, right? And so I've always been a hustler, right? Yeah. And so I'm so used to making a lot of money. At this time, I was working at this club. We was making like $2,500, $3,500 a night. So I'm like, Dad, I don't really want to leave this. But this sounds enticing. I got a daughter now. Yeah. Right? My daughter's like 3 now.
Need something more secure.
I need something more secure. And so what happens when God wants you to be in alignment with something?
He shuts the other
He
thing down.
shuts it down.
Shuts the whole
Guess
other
what?
thing down.
Club gets shut down. They fighting and all this other stuff happening. Club gets shut down. Force. I go over here.
Okay.
I get over here. I'm like, I'm gonna make this happen, right? To be able to be in a business where I'm able to control my money, I'm able to have financial freedom because I'm able to fly around wherever I want to do business, and I'm learning about building wealth. So, you know, this is really a white man's business, right? Financial services is really a white man's business. And so not too many of us in the building, right? Especially at the successful level. And so I'm like, I'm gonna be just like them. And so that's how I ended up getting into the business. This was in 2010. And we're in that same space again, where people are unsure about their income. And that's exactly what was happening then. And I said, I wanted to make sure that I wanted to be in a business where it was recession proof, where I could make whatever amount of money, and where I had a purpose. And so I felt like this was it. And here we go. 15 years later, I'm in it. And I achieved what I needed to achieve.
I love that. So I want to split this up into two parts because I think this is good, especially what you just talked about. I want to talk about the business side of being a life insurance agent, and because it may be some people in here that might be interested in that. But the other one I want to talk about first is life insurance itself, because everybody hears about the word life insurance, but they think about it. You know, the funny thing is, and you probably know the stats better than I do, everybody knows about life insurance, but yet nobody actually goes out and gets it. That's one. Second, everybody knows about life insurance or knows somebody that passed away, but yet they still not, you know, enticed to go and get it. You know, everybody knows about how funerals can cost so much because fish fries, GoFundMe. They don't even do fish fries no more. They just do GoFundMe. I remember I used to do fish fries.
Everybody begging for money through GoFundMe.
Yeah. So now, at least with the fish fry, you was getting something to platter back. Now it's just straight GoFundMe. But people still don't get it. So I want you to touch on. So we're gonna split this in three parts. That's cool with you. We're gonna do the life insurance and why is it important in general. Just, you know, life itself, but then also the infinite banking and just the money. And then we want to talk about the agency stuff. So what's your thoughts on just life insurance? Before we get into the money part, what's your thoughts on life insurance in general?
So the biggest thing is I feel like people don't buy insurance because, one, they don't understand it. Our culture doesn't understand it because we are not getting money left behind to us, right? So from generation after generation, it's very likely your family didn't leave you much of any life insurance. Now is the time that the information it's always been out there, but now it's out there on the internet where the younger generations are paying attention to it. So now it's a chance for us to really change that and move from how it was before to now all the generations being able to leave money behind. The thing about life insurance, it allows you to have an immediate net worth increase. Dang. Because if I have no money, if I make $25,000 a year, I still may be able to afford a $50 premium and therefore may be able to leave my family behind. If I had a term, I could possibly leave my family behind $1 million for $30 if I was 30 years old. So if something happened to me unexpectedly, which happens a lot in our community, they would have left $1 million behind for $30. They didn't have $1 million. They didn't have 2 cents to rub together, but they were able to afford that $30. See how that could completely change the family behind them, right? So now when they leave this money behind, now our family can get out of debt. We could buy a property. We could start a business. All of the things that are hard for us because we might not have the credit. We may not have the knowledge. And so we're not set up like some of these other cultures are from when they're born, where they already have insurance, where their families are building their credit from when they're born, where they already got properties in their name by the time they're 18. We're not set up like that. So if we were able to leave a life insurance policy behind, we can change the net worth of our family immediately at death without actually having money in our bank account.
So the way I took it, you explained it better than a lot of people explain it. You can literally, you know, God forbid, but it's the fact of the matter, someone can pass away and an entire family can go from zero to hero like overnight.
Tax-free.
Overnight.
The money is tax-free.
Like, dang. So
Uncle Sam ain't coming for you for half of it.
Yo, I know you're enjoying this episode. I know you're getting a lot of game and a lot of value, a lot of information. But is it okay for me to give you even more value? Is it okay for me to give you more information? So if you just said yes, what I want to do is I want to give you access to a free training that I'm having 100% free. You can log in. If you don't like, you can log off. It's 100% free. In this training, I'm going to show you guys the 4 steps that I utilize to be able to buy properties, rent properties, make money on property. Like this building we're in right now is 100% mine. And we do that. And I have done that doing those 4 simple steps. So what I want you guys to do is go to fundedandclosed.com, just like the podcast, but fundedandclosed.com. You're going to be able to register for the free training. Like I said, 100% free. And it's going to give you those 4 steps that I utilize to build my real estate empire. And you can do this exactly where you at right now. So look, we're going to get back to the episode. But before we go ahead and finish, press pause, go to that website, go ahead and RSVP for the training. And I'm going to see you soon. Let's get to it. I decided to not go out to eat one time a month and instead pay a $30, $50 premium. And then there I can literally set my family up to where they might get, even if it's $500,000, that can change a lot.
Can completely change their life. Mm-hmm. And so that's the thing. And the thing about insurance is people don't understand the value. If you don't understand the value, you're not going to spend the money.
Exactly.
So there's an issue with the explanation of insurance because most of the agents, first of all, when you have new agents, they don't really know. They're just like a customer. They're just like you. They don't know. They are uneducated yet on the insurance. And so therefore, they're not really explaining the information to you. Mm-hmm. If I don't explain it to you, then when it becomes the 3rd month and you paying your bill, you're like, you know what? Let me just cancel it. So most of us are canceling. We're lapsing on the policies. So they never get paid out. They may start it and it never pays out. The insurance company's winning with us. Mm-hmm. I always tell my clients, don't let the insurance company beat you. Pay your premium. Get a policy that you can afford so that you can pay your premium. Because there's never going to be a family member that's going to tell you, oh my goodness, don't give me that $100K because I wanted $500. If 100 was what you can afford, get 100. Mm. It's better than when you pass away, we need a GoFundMe. You guys are getting kicked out the house. Your kids are no longer in private school. You know, it's a huge change when somebody in our community passes away unexpectedly. Mm-hmm. So we need to plan for that.
It's funny. Nobody that I personally know came into that I may know of that came into like a big life insurance policy, like cash out. I know maybe like one person, they folks passed away and they got maybe like 20,000, like nothing crazy. It's funny. There's one girl, she joined into my program and she joined the program, she talking. And then when we like had like a little conference call, whatever, and she was like, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't want to get into like fixing and flipping and stuff like that. She said, I joined the program. She said, you know what? I don't want to get into fixing and flipping. And I'm like, okay. She said, I just want to like, you know, invest, but like, you know, be a lender. Mm-hmm. So I'm hearing, I'm listening. I'm like, okay. Thinking maybe she got a little bit of money. She had like, how much she had? 3 million or 2 million? Mm. And first of all, she had like a brand new G-Wagon. Didn't work. Like I had a lot going on, but that's not my business to really, you know, figure things out. But when she said that, she was like, yeah, basically I came into some money. Mm-hmm. So even to that, now she's setting up a whole basically hard money lender business off of. So now she said, whoever, you know, passed away in her family just set up her and then the people coming behind her off of them making sure they had a premium. Now she's about to become with a lot of like Jewish, like my lenders are Jewish. Now she set up her whole situation. Now she could be a whole lender based off of her, whoever passed away in her family, put together a premium. Now she came into, I don't know how many millions. She ended up telling me she spent like 500,000 of it. Then like buying a G-Wagon, buying some other stuff and things like that, but still having, like, I think she had like 1.8 or 2 or something left over. And that's what she was really working with.
See, that's amazing. And what it can do for you is amazing, right? But if we had more examples like that, then people would do it. Yeah. The problem is if it's not familiar to you, you're not going to do it. And so I think, one, education is important. That's why I wrote the book, Creating Wealth Through Life Insurance. It was like the #1 book on Amazon and life insurance for the longest. That's dope. I simplified it so it's a manual. You know how many people have reached out to me and said, oh my God, Lindsay, this book has changed my family's life because now we understand why we should get XYZ policy, why and how we can utilize it to create our own bank, to be able to leverage it for anything like a business. That's the other thing. I've had clients that's utilized the life insurance to start businesses and now make millions off of the business from the seed money from the insurance. So if we understand how to use it and we set our children up, the thing that is most important to me in insurance is if you are a parent, you should absolutely, when your child is born, buy them an insurance policy. Get them like a 10, 15, or 20 pay whole life insurance, whatever you can afford. So the longer the pay period, the less it's going to cost. Get that. When your child turns 18, they will have a policy that's paid up, that will compound interest every single year for the rest of their life. The death benefit will continue to grow for the rest of their life. Imagine you now have left your child money, 1, if they want to start a business, 2, if they want to buy property, 3, your grandkids, when your children have children, your grandkids will receive millions because you just might have spent $50, $60, or $70,000 over a period of 15, 20 years, just because of the compound interest. I did a policy for this 5-year-old. And I did the same policy for my daughter. Matter of fact, I'll give you the example of the policy I did for my daughter. Okay, when my daughter turned 2, I brought her a 15 pay whole life. I brought a $500,000 one. It's only $177 a month. When my daughter turned 18, I was done paying the policy. Guess what? Now her policy has thousands of dollars of it in it, right? When my daughter turns 85, the death benefit will be $4.3 million.
Wait a minute. So
I want you to $177.
And then now the cash value is thousands of dollars. But still not touch that.
Still not touching it.
When she gets to that point later on, then she got 4 point something. So by doing nothing, she got a guaranteed 4 point something million.
And if she wanted to touch the cash value, I think at that point it's like $3 million, right? So, but this is the thing, tax free. So if she needs to touch it, she can touch it. But if she doesn't want to touch it, because obviously I have other policies for her, but if she does want to touch it, she can. If she doesn't, she doesn't have to, and my grandkids will receive that money.
So it just go on to the next
it's the next generation gets it. Because she's going to make her kids the beneficiaries eventually. Right? So now it's generational. Right? That's generational. Yeah, that's a move. So this is the thing. When you have a child, the insurance is cheap. They don't have to do a medical. And so don't get me wrong, they do underwriting. So I'm not saying if your kid is unhealthy, but if your kid is healthy, you get the insurance and it locks in their insurability. Because different things happen over life, right? My daughter's sister passed away at 14, right? So different things happen in life. So you want to prepare yourself to lock your kid in with the insurability. Because what if something happens to their health later and they can't get insurance? You already got it. My daughter already has over $1 million in coverage. So I don't want anything to happen to her. If something did, we don't need any more insurance. That insurance is going to grow to be millions.
That's good. Two things. One, you said something about life. Don't let the life insurance policies win. Life insurance company. When I was in college for like a hot second, I remember that guy said this. He said life insurance are making billions of dollars a year of people lapse on their policy. And I never thought about it like that. I mean, shoot, I was 18. I wasn't thinking about it at all. But when he said it, he was like, think about all the people that had paid their policy year after year after year, and then they stopped. And then all that money just kept.
And the insurance company never has to pay out your family. And remember,
you just gave them free money.
The insurance company is investing your premiums.
Yeah. So they took your free money and then doubled and tripled it.
Quadrupled it to a whole nother level. Because they're able to invest in certain type of investments that you can't. Right? So imagine you pay your policy for 10 years and you let it go. And they never have to pay out the death benefit. But you lose your policy. Now, granted, this is the thing. When you have a permanent policy that builds cash value, those policies, they don't just lapse. They'll eat itself first. So it'll pay the premium until the cash value goes to zero.
Yeah.
But why would I have wanted to build my policy cash value up to just let it eat itself and then it still never pays out?
Yeah, that's dumb.
It's dumb. That's dumb. It makes sense to continue to pay your premium of some sort. Don't let it lapse.
Yeah. I know I had a premium that I got like this. I got life insurance, a different type of plan now. And then I got one for my son, but then I had just got life insurance policy because my grandma told me to get it. And it was increasing in value so much that I had switched banks or got a new card. However it go, I wasn't paying it no more for a couple months. And then I got a letter like an update, whatever they send them quarterly, whatever they send. And I'm like, oh shoot, I haven't been paying it. I'm scared it lapse, and this ain't all it's been paying on itself.
It pays itself.
And it was paying itself because the value went up, and they just was taking. You can probably explain it better than me, but they was taking from its own value to pay my $65 a month, something like that.
Right, and so that's the thing. So if you have a policy for a while, and it's a cash value policy. The policy builds money all the time, right? It's constantly building money. So if you don't pay your premium, then the policy has the cash value to be able to pay that premium for you. When that policy cash value goes to zero, that's when the policy will officially lapse. Until then, it's taking loans. So you can actually pay the money back that it's been paying and make your policy whole again, and then continue to pay your premium if you wanted to. So it's up to you. You don't have to. Some people just start paying back the premium, the current premium, and leave the loan. But of course, remember, life insurance is like a line of credit.
Yeah.
So if I pay it back, it's available for me to use it.
Use again.
And it's also compounded. So it's more money than it was before. So I always encourage people who have policies from, if you're young, you should pay back your loans. So that you can keep utilizing the money, repeat the process.
You run off on them, you ain't gonna get it again.
Right. But not only this, just think about this. If you use life insurance to leverage your net worth, then the goal is to purchase a policy that builds cash value. So that's going to be a whole life policy or a universal life policy that builds cash value.
Universal,
right? So either one of those, typically IUL, which is index universal life, or VUL, which is a variable universal life, that's a universal life policy that your money is in mutual funds. Okay. So then you either have one of those or you have a whole life policy. If you have any three of those policies, the cash value is building. Now, what you're going to do is when I have an opportunity come across my table, let's say it's real estate in your case, I'm going to loan from myself. I'm going to, let's say I'm purchasing the property. Maybe I'm renovating the property. It depends on how much cash value you have. But I do the work. And now when I sell the property, I'm going to pay myself back, but my net worth is up. Why? Because now I made money from the property. I'm now going to repeat the process.
That's smart.
Right? Or let's say I'm doing a hold. I can fix the property up. Once I get the tenant in there, I'll pay myself back through the rent. And now my policy is being made whole. So that money is, I'm going to be able to utilize it again. And I have a property that, one, I'm building equity in. So my net worth is growing. Two, I have tenants in there. So I'm making money.
And they're paying it.
Exactly. So the goal of the insurance is to utilize it to leverage to keep increasing your net worth. Same thing for a business. I had a client that was into trucking. He worked for a trucking company. He calls me like, hey, Lindsay, I'm tired of working for this company. I think I could do this myself. I said, you could. He was like, I need $25K. I said, well, we did a whole life policy and you probably have some money in there. I look it up. It has the money in the policy. I'm like, listen, this is what I want you to do. You borrow the money, you buy the truck. Once you make the money on the truck, pay the policy back so you could buy another truck. Guess what? Now he's making double-digit millions in his business. It's been like 6 or 7 years now, right? He's constantly used the policy over and over again, never had to go to a bank.
Changed his entire life.
So that's considered create your own bank. That's considered infinite banking because he did it right. He keeps going back to the policy to go ahead and invest and get more trucks.
You want to know what my brother Ramel, you know Ramel, he did the craftiest thing. He, and this is probably, people like all the flashy and fancy stuff. He did the craftiest thing. So he went and bought, he went to the bank and got pre-approved for a auto loan to buy a Lambo, a Urus Lam truck. And they approved him to do the whole thing, the whole $250, no money out of pocket. He then bought that. I think he said he paid like a month or two. Then went ahead and borrowed the $250 from the life insurance policy he had, paid the whole truck off, got his pink slip, got all the paperwork, so he owns it free and clear. And then now just moved it to the life, got the loan off the life insurance, and now he just pays the life insurance back. But technically he don't have to. It would just mess up, take from the death benefit. But I was like, dang.
And also think a lot of times
the bank is like, dang, you paid off a whole $250 in 60 days. So now they looking at him like,
right, so now it's helping your credit.
I said, dang, that was.
It's helping your
move.
credit, but the other thing about that is the loan typically on the insurance is going to be less than the loan that you're going to get from the bank for a car.
That's
so
what he was saying.
The interest is going to be less, right? And of course, it does make sense for him to pay it back so that pay back some of it so that he can utilize it, right? Because of course, a car is a depreciating asset, right? So, but that's why I like to say using it with real estate or using it with assets that appreciate, because now I'm double winning. I'm winning on the loan with the insurance, but I'm also winning on the asset that I brought that's gaining equity. You get what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's why I love doing it with assets that are going to appreciate, because then I get to win on both sides.
Yeah. When he told me that, I was like, damn, that was crafty. Because, everybody's buying cars and stuff like that. I bought a bunch of cars. But when he broke it down like that, I was like, oh, that's different. So he's like you said, my interest is less. Now the bank is looking at me like and he did all of that, no money out of pocket.
Bank looking at you like, we want to give him some more money. So now when you really he got a business
he went and got a crazy line of credit from him.
This is what I'm saying. And that's the thing. Like, we have to start to learn to leverage the insurance. And I think that's the part that we're missing in our community. They've been doing, this is not new, right? You also can collateralize your loans through your life insurance, right? If you have insurance and you have cash value in your policy, you could go to the bank. I had a client, he does like a business where, you know how you have steakhouses and they have the chef clothes and the tablecloths. It's an actual business where a company brings in
they bring that stuff in
every day. Yeah. So he has the business where they basically iron the stuff and bring it into all the major steakhouses in New York. Big business, right? And so basically what he did was he got an insurance policy to collateralize his loan for the building that he got for his business.
That's smart.
And so basically the bank gives you a lower interest rate because you have money in the policy. Yeah. And they don't have to worry about losing it.
It's funny. This whole thing in life is just a game. And it's not even it's a game, but it actually is very simple. It's just naturally we don't know it. And then 2, we don't take the time to figure it out. But if you think about it, like half the battle is just getting a policy. The other little moves you make come right after, but half the battle is just getting a policy. So a lot of the things that really will catapult us are very simple. Like I tell people, I like real estate because it's a simple business. I buy something cheap, I fix it up, and I make the decision. I want to sell, I want to rent it. It's like a lot of people are working at hospitals doing way more intellectual stuff than I do. You get what I'm saying? And even down to life insurance. Get a policy, $65, $75, $100 a month. Keep paying it. Then at one point it's gonna build up. You can start moving around with it. It's not like it's not rocket science. Trying to make it more complicated. What it is.
Crazy. And the crazy thing, I feel like these type of careers that we choose or businesses we have make the most money. Like, and it's the job that nobody talks about, right? It's not, you don't go to school and they tell you should be a real estate investor. You don't go to school and they tell you you should sell life insurance. These are things that you usually do because you have a family member in it. Or, it's like a generational thing that comes, or you kind of fall into it because maybe you lost your job and you're like, let me just fall into, real estate or fall into insurance. But the craziest thing is, this is where the millionaires is at, right? Like my daughter's in college now, and she's in a business school. They never really speak on being in the insurance business. And my daughter's like, my mom makes millions. Like, why am I here in school? I could just be working for you. And the thing about it
is, it's a tough conversation.
It's a tough conversation. She gonna stay her butt in school, and she could work for me at the same time. But and that's just a preference for me, right? Just to have her finish the degree. I feel it's something about just completing something.
It don't feel good to pay back something you didn't finish. Yeah. So she definitely, and then a lot.
Oh, pay back? We're not paying back.
True that. True that. But the other thing too is every time I talk to somebody that went to college, and even if they're not using the degree, they said that was an experience that they needed.
It's an experience that I can't even explain.
Yeah, so I think it's good. Like I went to Penn State Abington, so Penn State Abington is pretty much it's Philly. So I never stayed. They didn't have a campus. You don't stay. You go there, you come back.
Oh, my friend went to Penn State, but she stayed somewhere. So y'all have
no, they got different ones. Maine is the one. That's the main. It's a city. Okay. But the one I stayed there, I just went there and I came back. I used to go to first class and I leave. Okay. But yeah, that's a whole nother combo. But I say all that to say is every person I know that went to the other Penn States, the main ones and other schools, even if they didn't use their degree, they say like, I don't regret going. So even for my son, I want him to, maybe go to college for like even just so you can get a feel. I take that back. I'm not making him go to college, but then if he does want to go, I'm I'm gonna tell them like, yo, if you go, make
It's
sure you
great for
experience the
networking.
whole.
It's the
Exactly.
networking. You go to college and you meet people from all across the world.
Mm-hmm.
You have international students. I went to Howard. There were students from everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I think the relationships that you build in college can take you far throughout your life. That's what I think is important about going to college.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not necessarily what you learning and not learning, because you could go to college for one thing and do a whole nother career.
Yeah.
But that's, to me, not really the purpose in it. I think it's more about the networking.
Yeah.
Especially if you're planning on being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, that's something different.
Yeah, that's a whole different conversation.
Right, and you need to go because you need a degree.
Uh-huh.
But for other things, I feel like it's the networking.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Mm-hmm. So I want to touch on what your daughter's talking about, like getting into this business. So for somebody that's watching this and they're like, yo, like, okay, I got the life insurance thing, I'm gonna get my policy, but that other stuff she talking about sounds dope. Like, so what exactly is a life insurance? We understand what life insurance is, but what exactly is a life insurance agent and how do they get paid? Because I'm not gonna lie, until you told me this the other day, you blew my mind. I never knew. I'm like, why do they be hawking me about getting life insurance? And I'm like, yo, if I'm making, this is how I thought about it. When I first signed my first policy, it was $65 a month or $63. I think it was like 59. I gave him 65, 70. I just rounded up. Mm-hmm. And this was some years ago. And I'm like, he must be getting maybe $10 off each month. Or because he said he wanted to make sure that I keep paying my policy. So,
right.
So I'm putting two and two together. I'm like,
he could keep getting paid.
So I'm putting two and two together. I'm like, all right, that means he's getting paid every time I get paid. I mean, every time I pay it. So I'm like, life insurance gonna give him half. So I'm like, he probably getting $10, $20. But I'm like, that adds up. He got 100 people getting the policies. I'm like, all right, that's how you make us a couple dollars. I ain't mad at it. But what you told me was something totally different. So for the people, explain like what is life insurance agent and how do they get paid?
So this is crazy. So
if you can say, I don't know. That's
absolutely right. So being a life insurance agent is not what people think, right? You don't realize how much money is really in this business.
Yeah.
Right. And so to be in this business, to me, I always say, like, I don't even understand how anybody's in this business and makes less than 100K. And it sounds crazy, right? Because the average income is under 100K, right? Most people are making 50 and under, right? Isn't that the mid-level?
55, 60, something like that.
Right. Yeah. So this is life insurance. So life insurance, basically the way we get paid is commission. So you basically need to find your own people. Mm-hmm. Ideally, you find your own people, or you could pay for leads. I'm not a person who likes to pay for leads, but once you become an agent, you get paid based on the annual premium. So let's just do this math. And this is why I say, I don't know why any agent doesn't make less than 100K. If you were to close 3 people, this is 3 people that said yes to you for $100 a month. So you say your premium $65. Mm-hmm. Let's say 3 people said yes to $100 a month, right? $100 a month is $1,200 a year, right? So that's $3,600. $3,600 a year for 3 people, right? You would, on average, if you're an independent agent, your commission is really somewhere between 80 to 120%, right? If you're an agent like myself, somewhere between 100 and 140%, right? But if you're a new agent, let's just give you, I'm not even going to give you 80%. I'm going to tell you it's 60, and that's like a small amount, right? Mm-hmm. So let's do that math. So we got $3,600, y'all, right? And we're going to times that by 60%. That's $2,160. This is 1 week, right? $2,160. Let's say you don't want to work 52 weeks. Let's say you want to work 48 weeks. So we're going to times $2,160 by 48 weeks. It's $103,000.
Okay. All
right. So this is if you want to do bare minimum. This is you want to close 3 people. Yeah. We're not even talking about the fact that you might be closing people spending $500. $800, $1,000, $5,000, right? My average client, I'm going to say, is probably spending between $500 and $5,000, right? So, but if you're new and you're saying that because you deal with business owners, right? Yeah. So if you're new, then you're saying maybe $100. I don't know. Most people are spending more than $100. They're covering their whole family, right? So it's unlikely that they're spending that. But even that's $103,000 a year. So bare minimum, I feel like as an agent, why wouldn't you be successful? Let me tell you why. People are not looking at themselves in the mirror. They're not, agents do not look at themselves in the mirror. They don't, this is my mentor told me this, Marcus Rosier. He said, you don't have an income problem, you have a lead problem. And that means if you don't have enough leads, you won't have any income.
Exactly.
Because you need more than 3 leads a week to close 3 people.
Exactly.
But if
volume,
you are serious about making money and you want to make money on your own terms and you don't want to have to ask somebody when you could take a vacation and you want to be on vacation while you making money, then this is a dope business for you because you're going to be able, I travel all over the place and I'm still making my money, right? Now, that's one part of it. But when you decide you want to make a business out of it and you say, hey, I want to be an agency owner, imagine just finding other agents that can work for you. And let's say you produce the leads and now you say, hey, give me 50%. So if I now,
$1,000
so now I get $1,000, but what if I have 10 agents doing that for me? What if I'm supplying them all 3 people a week? Now how much do I make for me doing nothing? But giving you guys some education, maybe, giving you guys some leads from me speaking on different platforms. So the thing about agents is they lazy. So when they complaining about they not making money, they lazy. And I just spoke to, so I have a mentorship and basically what I do is I meet with the agents, I educate them on the product. I give them the framework for the appointment. I give them all the questions they need to ask. I teach them about the psychology of sales. I teach them about branding, AI, everything involved in being able to be successful in this business. And so one of my agents this past week, we do quarterly calls. And I said to her, you've been in the mentorship for a year. And I'm not seeing the results that I'm seeing from some of the other people. And I said, so I want you to look in the mirror. I want you to tell me what is it that you're not doing? Because I have given you every single thing that you could do. So if you didn't like these 5 things, you could have did these 10 things.
Yeah, that's good.
And if you did what I said, you would absolutely have money. Because everybody in the mentorship that does what I say, the next day they're like, oh my goodness, Lindsay, it worked. It this, it that. I made money. I had an appointment. I did this. So what's going on with you? And she said, you know what? I didn't do this. I didn't send the emails out like you said. I didn't text the people like you said. I didn't do the webinar like you told me.
They didn't work.
And she said, it's my fault. Guess what she did 2 days later? She called me yesterday. She did the email. She did the text. What you think she did? She got appointments.
Hey.
This is what I'm saying. It's not rocket science. For real estate, it's not rocket science.
It's really not.
You tell people what to do. If they decide not to do it, that's why you don't make the money.
It's really not.
They don't want the money. They say they want the money, but they don't want to do what it takes to make the money. So it's not the business. It's the person. And if you're not willing to do what it takes to make the money, then you should work a 9 to 5.
Hey, so I know you're enjoying the episode so far, and you're probably hearing some of the plays, but you might be like, my credit isn't there. I don't have the best credit. I may not be able to run some of the plays they're saying. So what I want to do is I want to give you an opportunity for free credit repair. I said it, 100% free credit repair. I'm going to drop the website below where you can go ahead and get your credit repaired for free. All you have to do is have the credit monitoring software so that way you can pull your reports and this will be fixed for free. All you have to do is go to nochargecreditrepair.com. It is 100% free. All you have to do is have the credit monitoring software so you can actually pull the report and actually see what the score is on all 3 bureaus. And then this system is going to fix your credit for free. So again, nochargecreditrepair.com, and you guys can get access to that. Look, there is no reason why you can't win. This is the link for you to get your credit repaired. You're watching a podcast episode where it's showing you how to make money, how to get funded. There's no reason why you can't win. So go ahead and click the link, pause this episode, go ahead and sign up, and then get back to the episode and keep learning, keep winning, keep growing. Let's get it.
Because then you need to have something.
That's a hard conversation to have with yourself, but it's the conversation that's needed. Do I really want this bad enough? I said this on the pod before. I say this all the time, but people don't really move or look themselves in the mirror because it don't hurt bad enough. And what I mean by that is, like, you ever notice or never lean up against the stove and it's hot, your body jump without you thinking about it, your body jump. You ever sleep one way, you wake up in the morning, there's another way. You might have been on your arm, you naturally just rolled over. Your body will naturally remove itself from pain adjust itself from out of pain if it hurts bad enough. When you lean on your arm, it might go for a couple hours, then it's fine. All right, this crap hurt a little bit. You know, you might be leaning on the stove, don't even realize it was just a little warm. Then all of a sudden, oh, this is hot. I remember one time I was in the car driving with my homie, and I was messing with him. I turned the seats on. He didn't even realize it. He was like, yo, this thing is kind of hot. But it was on for like 5-10 minutes before. But your body naturally is like, everything is okay until it hurts bad enough. And then you go ahead and move. People aren't having a conversation with themselves because they don't hurt bad enough. Let's say, for example, like before I got into real estate, I was working at this job, I was making $10 an hour. So for my checks was like $600-700 every 2 weeks. That lasted for a little bit of time because I'm like, well, it hurt, but don't hurt that bad. Like I still get some stuff paid. I still got $50 to go and go out to eat with after everything is done. You know, I still can go ahead. I still can or I just don't go out too much and drive around too much. That way I don't burn up all my gas. Like it just don't
yourself to fit that situation.
Exactly.
Instead of adjusting yourself to make the money that you want to do the things that you want to do.
Exactly.
And that's what I said. It's up to, that's the difference. You know, they say like, you lucky to make money. No, you was willing to do the work.
Exactly.
That's it. You wasn't lucky. You was willing to do the work. I did what you wasn't willing to do.
That's awesome.
That's it. Right? And I say that to them all the time. I'm like, listen, if you're going to be in the mentorship, I'm telling you what to do. I told them last week, so the class is every Tuesday. I told them last week, I said, listen, it don't make sense for you to come here and just listen to me and collect information. I'm not here for you to collect information. You could read, you could go listen to the stuff on the portal. I'm here, I'm telling you things to do so that if you do it, you will make money.
I like
that.
Do
you want the money?
I like that. Hard convo. So let me ask you, so how because I'm pretty sure somebody probably listening to this and like, all right, what is that? I need that. I need that guy. I need that help. Or maybe I need to give the life insurance stuff a try. How could someone tap in with you for that, you know, that mentorship or just help in general?
Absolutely. Well, you could go to my website, which is lindsaysmiththeagent.com.
Okay.
My mentorship stuff is all on there. But you can go directly to the site. It's lstacademy.com.
lstacademy.com. Dope. And that's when they can learn about life insurance, life insurance agency and things like that. Dope. Can they go to Lindsay Smith the Agent
they too? Can go if you go to Lindsay Smith the agent.com, everything is on there. Everything, even
like life insurance itself for my personal stuff.
Right. So if you want to purchase life insurance, if you want to be in the mentorship, if you need my book, anything, everything is on there. You could go directly to there and take you everywhere.
Oh, that's dope.
All my master classes, everything is on there.
I love it. Yo, this was good. I learned a couple things I didn't even know about life insurance and stuff. And the agent, I didn't know nothing about the agency. You told me some stuff. It started open up the door for me, but now you just kind of like open it up even more. I didn't know. I think it's dope. And there's a couple people I know personally. I think they should give it a shot, give it a try. So one thing before we close up, what's you made money, you helped so many people, you've done a lot of different things. And I'll ask every single person on the podcast, what is one thing that you do that has nothing to do with, you know, business that you want to spend your money on? Like me, I like to travel. Some people, one guy came on, he said he went and bought his dream car. He bought a Maybach. Another person there, they said they retired their mom. Another person sitting there, they buy a bunch of pocketbooks. Like, what's your thing that you like to do?
I love to travel. That's me. You can tell me. You can hit me up. Shaquana hit me anytime. She like, girl, we going. I'm out. I'm not asking no questions. Let's go. I mean, traveling to me, I feel like you just get to see other places, right? You know, when we grow up, we in one space, and you sometimes think that this is it. So to be able to travel the world and see things and shopping, that's my thing. That's why I gotta invest first. That's why when the money come in, I invest first. So that the shopping is, you know. Real
quick, do you feel like because your daughter is in college and older now that you got this lane to just like, it's my time now?
It's my time. I feel like I tell people all the time, I'm 25 again because I had my daughter at 25. I'm 25 again. I don't have to have that worry about picking her up and dropping her off to school every single day and doing homework and none of that stuff anymore. So I definitely feel like it's my time, because when you're a parent, you sacrifice that. You sacrifice your time, right? Because they need time. Money,
people always think about the money, but it's the time. That's the time.
But the kid remembers the time. Like, were you here for me on my talent show night? Right? That's what they're gonna remember. So you have to, a lot of times your travel is in restriction. It's like, oh, I gotta get back. I got 1 day. I can't go here. I can't do this. So that's how I lived for a long time. So now it's like, what? We're going here. I'm going to the next state. I'm going to the next country.
I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at that. So I enjoyed this episode. For everyone that's watching, make sure you go to, say it again, Lindsay Smith, the agent.
Lindsay Smith, the agent. My name, Lindsay, is spelled with an A because sometimes people spell it with an E, but you'll put it on the screen.
I always spelled it with an A. I didn't even think about that. Lindsay. People do an E?
Yeah. They say E is supposed to be a boy. It's Lindsay, but some people spell it with an E.
I didn't know that. I thought it was with the A already. So I enjoyed this. I appreciate you for coming out, sharing this. Like I said, these conversations we already have, but the fact that you allowed it to be recorded is dope. So make sure you guys tap in her, follow. What's your Instagram?
Lindsay Smith, the agent.
Everywhere.
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 Lindsay Smith, the agent. Everywhere.
Everywhere. So make sure y'all tap in. If you guys don't, so I'm gonna give y'all some homework. If you guys don't want to become a life insurance agent, go to her website anyway and get a policy. It was a $50 policy, $65 policy, $100 policy, because you just pay. Like, think about this. Some of y'all spending more of that on hookah. Some of y'all spending more of that on food. Some of y'all spending more than that on like buying Amazon Prime videos all the time. The movies, Starbucks coffee. Oh my God. But none of that is going to help you get an extra $1 million or $2 or $3 million for your family in the next 20, 30 years. Like, and a lot, and I always tell, this is something I do every single day, right? These 4 things. I make sure I do something that's going to feed my body. Like, even if it's 10 push-ups, do something that's going to benefit my body now. And later down the road, I do something that's give some time to my family. So like my son, undivided, 15, 20, 30 minutes, like undivided. So like when I take him to school, it's like it's no phone. Like I'm asking questions. I don't even, none of the iPad. So what you want to do today in school? What's some of the things? Even if it's only a 20 minutes. I love
that. I love y'all drive to school. I watch y'all drive to school all the time. The music, the Mickey Mouse. I love that. Man.
Yeah, he got 4 songs on the playlist. It's the same 4 songs. The same 4 songs rotate the whole car ride. So that's a whole nother combo. And then 3 is I make some type of money every single day. Even if it's $100 or everybody has their own. If it's $10 for you, make some type of money today. And then also put something together that's going to make you some money long term. Life insurance. So if it's
ain't gonna make you money every day, we get paid every day in the life insurance business.
Exactly. So whether it's not, you don't want to become a life insurance agent, get with her so you can set up your policy so that way you can check off number 4 on my list where I'm doing something today that later in the road, like I never heard nobody that said like, dang, I got this $1 million coming in. I never heard that. Dang, I got this 100,000 coming in. I never heard nobody say that. Like, dang. I got this $2 million coming. Right. Never on life, nobody ever said none stuff like that. So make sure you get with her. LindsaySmithTheAgent.com, Instagram, Lindsay Smith the Agent, and let's get it.
Tap in.